Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Joe's Basement. I'm Joe. This is my basement. So, this week in Joe's Basement, we're going to show you the results of last week's first ever Joe's Basement viewer call-in show. And we did get phone calls. People do actually watch the show. It was quite a shock. We got quite a variety of them. And we videotaped that whole process. So we're going to show you some of the more interesting phone calls and the more intelligible ones. First off, I'd like to summarize the results for you, sort of educational. We received a total of 80 phone calls, 52 male, 21 female, the rest of whom hung up and could not be identified according to sex. The following people were bogus in the following ways. 17 people hung up, 4 were unintelligible, 10 were our friends, 2 were lewd, extremely lewd. One said, "Fuck you, Joe," and the other one made a very obviously fake homosexual pass to me, which I refused. 17 people were repeats, and it's not too bogus. 10 people called in groups. 8 offered suggestions. 8 offered complaints. 4 about eating. 1 about feet. 1 about the production time of the show. He said, "It takes only 1 week to produce an episode of Doogie Howser. Why does it take 2 weeks to do This Week in Joe's Basement?" Well, look, think of it as like fine wine, okay? Leave it on the shelf for another week, and it's still fine wine. 2 complaints about dog food. That didn't really make any sense at all. It's like a tree in a golden forest. Produce your own show, asshole. 15 people had seen the show before, 16 hadn't. 10 people mentioned Michelle. She continues to be a magnet for viewer response. People in particular had problems with the way she ate potato chips. I think the sort of display of the eating process really bothered them. One woman felt that it would be a bad influence on her kids. She was pretty hilarious. I think we'll try to put her on this. Anyway, well, yeah, Michelle continues to become famous, and I think I'm going to have to be really conscientious about shielding her from the public eye if she wants to continue to lead her private life. 5 people mentioned the dog food. One fellow wanted me to endorse a particular brand for his collie, and I was unable to recommend the kind that I had. I thought it was pretty nasty. 4 people had seen our show about white people and black people, Sledgehammer Diplomacy, episode 9. One fellow felt it was scary, and yeah, a cold, hard look at the real world can be pretty scary. You gotta laugh or you gotta cry. We choose to laugh. 9 people said, "What the fuck is this? What am I watching?" One woman thought we were breaking into Channel 32. Another guy said, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I saw a telephone number on the screen, so I thought I'd call in." We are kind of people. 11 people said it was a good show. The results of our contest last week, we had 4 people, Paul, Juan, Joe, and Aaron, talk to you about a traumatic car accident as if it actually happened to them. And only one of them, Aaron, actually suffered this traumatic car accident. People got to call in and vote to see who they thought was the real McCoy and who they thought was lying. The total guesses were 7 for Paul, 7 for Juan, only 1 for Aaron, and 1 for me. In particular, Madeline Long and her boyfriend Tom called in. They wanted to be mentioned by name on the air because they immediately realized it was Juan who was hit by the car. Well, they must have been really shocked, I guess, when they saw Aaron struggle to pull himself out of his sitting position and get up at the end. Anyway, that was pretty interesting. I really didn't think it would be that skewed. I thought it was pretty obvious, actually. But obviously, I was biased too. So hopefully, you learned something from that about the unreliability of eyewitness testimony, for one thing. So, in particular, we had a couple of people who were interesting. I'd like to respond to. We'll try to show you most of the stuff, video of what actually happened. A bunch of guys, skid marks out there, real fans of ours. They like to watch everything on Access. They just stay up all night and get wasted. They've seen every single show, and we love you, skid marks. You're great. Keep watching. A couple people, some suggestions. There was one fellow who said I should document the process of people who are trying to clean up 53rd Street, meaning the criminal element and so forth. And well, it's tough because it's really tough for me to get policemen to talk to me. And actually, if any of you out there in television land know of any inside ways I could get to talk to policemen, I'd really like to, but they're very reticent to talk to the media, and only certain outspoken individuals will go for it. Please write in. had the address on for a nice long time at the end of the show. People complain we didn't put it on long enough. In general, any kind of feedback, please write in. That's our preferred method of communication, a little old-fashioned, I know. Anything you write in of any form, especially if it's interesting, will be responded to in one way or another on the air, as these phone calls will. Maybe we'll do this phone call exercise again another day, too. I had a woman who asked for a date with the mole, and, well, we're going to see what we can do about that. Since the mole only exists on television, that's afraid it's the closest she's going to get. You all get to share in that. Another fellow called in and suggested that we all get jobs, and, well, we have a little bit of response to that. Let's see, who else was interesting that called in the first time? You remember anything else, Paul?
It's all a blur, Joe. So many people.
Well, just cut out that section where I'm thinking, because thinking doesn't make good television. Anyway, so check it out. Viewer response of real viewers on the results of last week's call-in show this week in Joe's basement.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We can't hear what Michelle's saying.
Yeah. Hi, your show's real cool.
All right, good evening. It's Joe's Basement. Joe speaking. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is a real cool show.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, it's real cool.
I'm glad you like it. Who's this?
This is, Hope.
What's your name?
Hope.
Hope.
H-O-P-E.
Uh-huh. Have you seen the show before, Hope?
No, my brother watches it.
I'm sorry?
My brother watches it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he wrote you a letter.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, did he write a letter to Michelle?
No, he wrote it to Joe.
Oh, he did? Well, I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, you haven't gotten it?
No. No, I promise you, though, when I do get it, though, I'm sure I'll respond to it in some way, especially if it's interesting.
Okay, well, I gotta go watch the show, okay?
Okay. Thanks very much for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Problems isn't caption. Oh, hello, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking.
Yeah, how you doing, Joe? Hey, listen, why dog food and why not hamster pellets?
Hamster pellets? It never occurred to me to eat hamster pellets. Dog food just sort of classic that way. But it's not a deeply thought out decision.
Right, I imagine it was.
Thank you much for calling in. We appreciate it.
Just wondering why you chose dog food over all those varieties of animals out there.
Oh, because I own a dog and I don't own a hamster. That's probably has to do with it.
Hey, I enjoy your show.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Any specific comments about anything you've seen?
I just turned it on right now. Anything I've seen in the past?
Yeah, in past shows or anything like that.
I like the spontaneity.
There you go.
In fact, that's probably the most refreshing thing about it, right there, the spontaneity. I just don't know what to expect, and I like that.
Yeah, we don't either, which has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I imagine you don't. Well, that's great. Keep it up.
Okay, thanks very much for calling.
If I have any ideas, I'll give you a call.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
You know what? We have this... Ouch.
Hey, Rod.
Who? Rodney?
Who is this?
This is Juan.
Wine?
Yeah.
How come you got this chick chewing on TV with her mouth open with them chips? Why don't you have me on there?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me ask Joe. Joe, how come we don't have... what's your name?
My name is Linda.
Linda wants to replace this woman that's chewing on the chips on your show from now on.
Write us a letter.
You gotta write a letter and explain why that should be done, Linda.
She looks sort of dorky, man.
I'm sorry?
She's dorky looking.
She's dorky looking, Joe.
Doesn't she?
Tell her
I don't know.
cable access is available.
Sugar, genius, or chips. Look at her.
Hey, Joe wants to deal with you directly here. Here's the man himself. He can air your complaints.
Look how she's chewing her chips and she's cleaning her teeth out.
Oh, hello, this is Joe.
All right, Joe.
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's over here picking at her teeth going... After she gets done eating her chips, it's sick seeing it on TV.
Oh, I'm sorry that you don't like it. She's an amateur performer. She's not at all trained and...
Well, what the hell? She doesn't have to be trained to do that. Oh, my God, these are people watching television. This show's getting bad.
Well, I think the whole idea of access television is that it's necessarily unprofessional, and there are good and bad things about it. But her performance is particularly ragged. She didn't have a good day. I will confess to that.
It's bad. It's bad. I just don't like it at all.
Well, I'm sorry that...
So I will write in somewhere and just try to get this shit off the air, because I don't want my children watching this.
You think it's a bad influence on your children?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. is.
You think that maybe their eating habits will deteriorate or something if they see some?
Terrible, yeah. My God, especially when you're on TV. Look at her. She's still going with her tongue trying to get the chips out of her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb bitch. Okay, I gotta let you go.
All right. Well, thanks very much for calling.
Goodbye.
Hello, this is Joe's Basement.
Good enough.
Clicking through the channel.
Well, we're on every Monday at 11:30.
Okay.
And you should watch because we think we do good stuff.
Saying all these terrible things about the fact that nobody watches my show because it's not true.
Joe's Basement, Joe speaking.
Fuck you, Joe.
Well, fuck you too.
Hey, Paul, phone won't stop ringing.
Off the hook.
Somebody just said "fuck you." Like, what's that?
This week in Joe's Basement, Dan speaking. May I help you? Good evening, Joe's Basement, Joe speaking.
This is dreadfully interesting.
It is. That's good. I take that as a compliment.
I've never seen this thing in my life.
You've never seen my show before?
Actually, I saw the black people talking about the white people and the white
Yeah.
people. I didn't know it was you.
Oh, yeah, because I wasn't personally on the show except for a few minutes to
Is this
introduce it.
actually who I'm talking to right now?
Yes.
The
yeah.
Joe?
Joe Winston, that's my name.
Where
yes.
are you?
Where am I? I'm in a payphone in Hyde Park.
In Hyde Park, okay.
Yeah. Hyde Park Pictures, we call ourselves.
I've never seen anything like this. What do you normally talk about?
What do I normally talk about? Normal doesn't really apply to this show because we do something different every week. It's sort of whatever strikes our fancy. Sometimes we go out and do documentary stuff. Sometimes we do improv, comedy type stuff. Sometimes we just do schlock. Sometimes we do strange behavioral experiments. It's really whatever's on our mind.
I thought the black and the white thing was incredible. I did. It was.
Yeah, we were surprised by the results we got.
It was really entertaining and yet really scary in a kind of way.
Yeah, well, it's scary in many ways. It uncovers all sorts of things. It certainly strikes straight at the heart of white liberal hypocrisy, for one thing.
That's an important thing to strike.
Yeah, I mean, we found that by asking simple and direct questions and cutting through a lot of bullshit, you find out some amazing things about people.
It was frightening. I thought it was like this one of those public access shows.
Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking. You're on the air.
Joe's up.
I'm sorry? I'd like to roll the tape and find out what that person actually said. I think it was like, somebody loves you or something. Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking. You're on the air.
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Fine.
How do you like the show?
Yeah, I like the show. I just got a few comments.
Okay.
First, I'd like you should start wearing some shoes, get a haircut, and stop eating dog food.
Well, 2 out of 3. I got a haircut and I will no longer eat dog food.
Oh, okay, but you're still going to go barefoot?
I'm afraid it's one of the trademarks of the show, actually.
And same product placement t-shirt?
That may change.
Oh, I think you should wear a different one every week. You can get money, you know?
That's too much like work, but otherwise I would. It's actually against the rules of Chicago Public Access Cable for me to be wearing that shirt in the first place, and certainly to accept endorsements would be verboten. Very bad.
Joe's Basement, Dan speaking. You're on the air.
Why are you showing a repeat of last week's show?
We do that every week because it takes us about 2 weeks to produce an episode. We show the same episode twice because they schedule things on a weekly basis.
It takes you 2 weeks to produce an episode?
Yeah, well, we all have jobs. This is not what we do for a living.
No, it takes 1 week to do a thing at Doogie Howser.
Well, if we had Doogie Howser's budget, we'd be on every day, man.
Come on. Basis here.
Well, we're amateurs. Give us time. We're getting there.
No, they have a real job.
So, you've watched the show before?
Yes.
And what do you think of it?
Tim Clark, how you doing?
I like episode 9.
Which one was that? I don't remember offhand, to be perfectly honest with
Sledgehammer
you.
Diplomacy.
Sledgehammer Diplomacy, yeah, that's one of our perennial favorites.
It's, I don't know, I think Joe should do more of a man on the street type thing. But it's frighteningly interesting watching him sit and talk.
Surprisingly enough, you're not alone. A lot of people have called up to say that.
Yeah, we've
That it's like having someone to talk to that you don't actually have to talk back to.
I can just look at him and wonder about his
Thanks for calling,
past.
Ken.
You don't want to know about his past, trust me.
How old is Joe?
23.
You have to be careful
23.
about
What is Joe's normal job?
He works in video production.
Hello, Joe's Basement. You're on the air.
Hey, why don't you have a skit similar to the one you're running right now, where all 4 guys tell a story about how they have a job? Oh, wait. You need at least 1 guy to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I'm really tired these days because I work nights at this place, this video production house out in Des Plaines. And see, I'm just getting started over there, and I'm the low man on the totem pole, which means I edit weddings for a living. I hate weddings. I really hate weddings. I have deep-rooted homicidal feelings towards anyone who's even considering getting married. And, well, that's what these people do. These people make industrial videos and stuff like that, and they film weddings, too, also, as a way of making money in the movie biz. And so I'm learning how to edit by editing on these weddings, okay? And I start work usually 6 or 7 at night and work all the way through till 4 in the morning or even later. And I need a lot of coffee to keep me going through this depressing exercise. And I find that as the night rolls on, I drink more and more coffee and more M&Ms, and that's like the only food that I have. That's my dinner and my breakfast, and it's all that really sustains me. And like things seem weirder and weirder as the night rolls on. And first I just feel fatigued, and then I have some more coffee and some more M&Ms, and I see some more people get married, and then I get sort of depressed, and then I have some more coffee and more M&Ms, and then I start to feel sick and nauseous. And there's this really popular act at these wedding receptions, just called the Little People. These little midgets, okay, which dress up as a bride and a groom, and they're wearing these big helmet-like heads for bride and grooms, and they have these strange things. Their lips like extend out 3 feet outwards like this, and they have the perverse ability to kiss people from 3 feet distance. It's quite scary.
So I sit there and I drink all this coffee and I eat all this caffeine, sugar rather, in the M&Ms, and I edit weddings, right? And I just start editing faster and faster, and then they have all these people who run around kissing each other, and they especially have these midgets with these big heads, and they kiss each other, and they have these huge little lips that come out and anyway, so I edit it all together, and I make coherent sense out of it.
I got this job, and you probably won't believe this, but what I have to do is I have to drink coffee all night long. Somehow they figure that that's worth their while to pay me for it. I mean, they pay me, I drink coffee all night long. Pretty soon you get really wired, and it's really scary because you can't think of, what you're going to do with all this energy and all this kind of tension that you feel. But fortunately, they got this editing equipment around, video editing equipment, so I get some tapes, and I start splicing things together. Most of these tapes have to do with some kind of social function that's going on, some kind of union, I think, like a wedding, mostly like a wedding. But sometimes these beings appear, and I don't know, the tension that's building up because of the caffeine, I guess. The idea that I'm getting paid to do something as bizarre as that just really starts to get on me. All you can do is splice and splice and splice. Sometimes you come up with something that kind of reminds you of the Brady Bunch. Sometimes you get something that reminds you of the Donna Reed show. What I'm worried about is that they're taking this stuff, my creative efforts here, what I'm doing to save my life, trying to burn off this caffeine, trying to preserve my sanity, that they're taking this, they're taking my humiliation, my struggle, and they're making money off it. Because I can just see them taking this stuff and selling it.
It's not too good.
Hello, Joe's Basement. This is Juan speaking. You're on the air.
Hi, Juan. I think it was you.
I'm sorry?
I think you were the truthful one. I know it's not done yet, but otherwise Joe wouldn't have mentioned Joe, Dan, or Paul. So I think it's you because you looked right in the camera. I know Joe's looking in the camera right now, but if he didn't have such a bad accident, he probably would have brought it up earlier.
Hi, I think it was Juan who did it.
Juan, who was hit by the car?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for guessing. You'll find out who actually did it at the end of the show.
Are you going to do it? What time is the show over?
It ends at 12.
At 12?
And sometime around 11:55, the mole will tell you who was actually hit by the car. The mole knows all.
The mole knows all. Okay.
You ever seen the show before?
No, this is the first time we watched it.
Oh, well, we're on every Monday night at 11:30.
It's pretty hysterical, but just don't let Michelle eat anything on the show.
I promise that, I probably promise that in the future that Michelle will not eat on the air. We've had several complaints about it already. One woman, in fact, who thinks that her children's eating habits will be permanently damaged by having seen Michelle set a bad example.
Exactly.
Well, hope you enjoy.
Very devastated.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, take my name and say it on the air if I win.
Yeah, okay. You understand that there are no prizes for this?
Of course not, but just to say my name.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. Name, address, whatever you want to give.
It's Madeline, M-A-D-E,
Right.
Well, I'm sure your kids
L-A-N-E,
sound pretty strange already.
Long, L-O-N-G,
Madeline Long
and my boyfriend Tom,
and Tom.
T-O-M, Keepers, K-E-E-B-E-R-S.
Okay, it's B-O-Y-F-R.
K-E-E, V is in Victor, E-R-S.
I understand that part, the boyfriend I was asking about.
So we think it's you.
Okay.
We know it's you.
Okay,
I'm going to
great.
say that I hope you're not
I'm
serious.
really sorry about the accident.
Yeah, well, it was pretty rough, as you can gather from
Ever seen
the
the show
recounting.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah, but pay attention because there's just some other excellent acting for you to watch here.
Yeah, what's
Speaking Joe's Basement, Dan speaking, you're on the air.
Well, I just wanted to know if the mole has a girlfriend.
Not at present, no, I don't think so.
Do you know what what type that he's looking for?
I don't know. What type are you?
So nobody has tried to.
Well, I've got red hair.
Sounds like a start.
Yeah, it's a start.
Would you like to talk to him?
Yeah.
He is here. Hold on a moment. I'll put him on.
Yo, Mole, there's somebody here who wants to know if you have a girlfriend. She has red hair.
No! I don't have a girlfriend! Do now! What's your name? Red hair. Oh, I like hair. Oh, red hair. I like red hair. Yeah. So, she said that she liked hairy men. Well, I'm not really all that hairy. But I do have this wonderful beard right somewhere here. Right here. Right here, see, this wonderful beard. Now, lots of people think that we moles, we don't have nice hair. They think we got coarse, tough hair. You know, like an anteater or something. Or, you know, one of those disgusting little mollusk-like animals that, you know, mammal like rodents, you know, those things. Anyway, no, we have nice hair. Very nice. Where was I? Oh, yeah, so we're gonna go out on a date. Oh, isn't that cute? We're gonna go to El Lugar's. It's this Mexican restaurant in Hyde Park. It's a nice restaurant. And they serve moles. No prejudice there. Nice guys. Anyway, so we're gonna go to that Mexican restaurant and we're gonna sit down and it's gonna be nice because they have this wonderful flounder and mole sauce that's just scrum-delicious. It's wonderful. You should try. Mole. Nah, it's mole. I'm sure it's mole. It couldn't be mole. That would be disgusting. Who'd eat a mole? They eat worms. It's gross. Anyway, so we're gonna go to this restaurant and we're gonna have a nice time. Yeah, we'll have wine. I'll get a loose, you know. No. And then we're gonna go back to her place. And we're gonna have some fun! Maybe if I can get her to drink enough. A little French. Whoa! My favorite. She says that her red hair is natural. That it's not like Preference by L'Oreal. Ooh. I'm gonna find out.
Both sides of the story.
Yo, what's happening?
Hey.
How's it going?
Not bad.
Good show.
Thank you.
We're figuring out this accident here.
Yeah.
What's happened to the accident?
So who do you think it actually happened to?
I think it's the first guy.
The first guy?
Yeah, I believe it's the first guy. The guy with the glasses.
That would be Paul. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just change tapes.
Okay.
We think it's him. You guys are doing a good job and keep us freaking out.
Okay.
Say hi to the skid marks from Chicago.
Will do.
That's who this is.
Pardon?
That's who this is. Skid marks from Chicago.
Skid marks from Chicago. Okie dokie.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. Bye.
More new kids on the block.
That would be easy since we've never had any new kids on the block.
Oh, damn.
Any other comments about the show? No? Well, you're an asshole. Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking. You're on the air.
Yeah, is this Joe?
This is Joe himself.
Yeah. You're kind of cute on TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you're cute in person, too, but you sound pretty strange already.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe we could get together sometime.
Maybe we could, but I'd rather not.
Really stroke on it a little bit. I'd like to suck your big dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, well, I must say that I hope you're not serious, because if you are, you're a fruitcake.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Ever seen the show before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pay attention because there's some other excellent.
I watch it a lot.
Yeah, what's your favorite part of it? I guess, given your strange your strange inclinations, you're probably pretty big on the feet aspect of it at the opening of every show.
I like watching it and beating my dick like I'm doing right now.
Well, I can't say that I condone this sort of behavior, but I admire you for keeping up the facade for this long. And don't watch too much TV. I think it's already done plenty of damage. Okay, thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, hi, Joe. I want to know, are you going to do any special appearances or anything like that where we can get out and meet you and everything?
Get out and meet me. I'm not sure I like that idea. I mean, the whole reason I had the payphones is to shield myself from the public. But perhaps, if I have to say that already I get the impression that there are far more people watching than I was aware of previously. I'm on other people's talk shows and stuff like that. Out in public, that's just going to have to wait, I think. But it's not out of the question. I'd never thought of it before, actually. I'm not quite that vain yet. It's a pretty funny idea.
How are Michelle doing special appearances?
I'm sorry?
About Michelle doing special appearances?
Michelle now has a special wish to be hidden from the public because she's not really ready for the spectacle of being famous and in particular of being sought after by her fans. So I think that I have a duty to her to let her lead her private life.
And please do me a favor. Don't
Yes.
eat any more dog food. You look in tremendous pain.
Listen, as the cliche goes, it hurts me a great deal more than it hurts you. So I don't plan on eating them anymore, no.
Well, thank goodness. But you stay in a Hyde Park. I saw the one on Kenwood. Great show.
Oh, yeah, we really enjoyed that. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I graduated from Kenwood.
Oh, you did? What year?
I graduated in 87.
Oh, okay. So I graduated 84 myself. So that's why. So I knew the turf. And that obviously helped out in covering the place. Yeah.
Okay, I think Joe is the one who had the car accident.
Okay. Your vote's been registered. I think that's the first vote for me, Joe. That's me. You'll find out. The mole will tell you.
Okay. Great.
Have you ever seen the show before?
Yeah.
Which episode?
Chips on TV.
What's that?
He said no more eating chips on TV.
Okay, we've had a number of requests for that, and we may even honor that.
Good deal.
What channel is this on?
Channel 19, run every Monday at 11:30.
And this is legal.
Yeah, we were surprised by the results.
What you guys are running? I thought you guys interrupted during Channel 32 and tapped into the line.
No, not at all. This is Chicago Cable Access.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen this.
Perfectly legitimate. You're watching Channel 19 if you're seeing
And
us.
he's actually eating dog food?
Yeah, he promised to eat dog food if anybody sent it in viewer mail.
Is he all together there?
There as where?
As in upstairs, in the brain.
Oh yeah, quite.
He is?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
He said it was okay. I don't know. I haven't eaten dog food in a couple of years.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like cat food.
I'll suggest that too.
Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking.
Hey, love it.
Great, I'm glad you enjoy it. What's your name?
Scott.
Scott.
You guys actually got me up off the couch to call.
Very good. A lot of other people, too, are very pleased.
Oh, you guys just been keeping the phone off the hook to make it seem like people are calling, right?
No, actually, we're taping this whole process, and it's going to be on next week. Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking. You're on the air. The mole knows all.
All I'm saying is schmew.
I'm sorry? You are an asshole. Bye-bye.
I was just wondering, because I'd like to see if my colleagues kept playing.
Well, I don't think Joe would exactly be fit to answer for a colleague, but if you'd like to speak to him, actually, he's off the other phone. I could put him on right now.
Oh, shit.
Okay, here you go. Joe, he wants you to endorse that particular can of dog food for his colleague.
Yeah, what's up?
Hello there, Joe?
Yeah, this is Joe.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did that dog food taste? Was it anything like human food, or?
Not the kind of human food I'd care to eat. No, it's pretty nasty.
Oh, really?
Just sort of like, you should try it sometime. It wasn't really horrible. It was sort of homogeneous and slimy, is how I describe it. Like some sort of very bad chopped up bologna gelatin type stuff.
Oh, my God. Okay, I don't think I want to give that to my colleague, then. And another thing, I think that guy Paul on there,
Yes.
I believe he did get hit by a car because he seems to be losing something, you know?
Okay, he does, huh? So you believe that Paul was hit by the car?
I do believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for calling.
Oh, really?
Okay, so we have one vote for Paul as the person who was hit by the car.
Good evening, Joe's Basement. Joe speaking.
Hey, what's happening, Joe?
Just answering phone calls for my television show, but that's sort of a silly remark to say because you knew that.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm watching your show now.